Welcome to the Prescott Home Value Report through April 2024, brought to you by the Prescott Pickle Lady, Diane Bro Realtor. As you can probably tell, I am not the Pickle Lady. That's me in the bottom right-hand corner. My name's Randall. I am the Pickle Lady's digit head, and she has authorized me to show you the following slides. So let's get started. As always, we start with the median sales price per square foot in the city of Prescott. Each one of these dots represents the closings in that particular month. The blue line is last year, the red line is this year. So here we are comparing April of this year, which was at this point last month, compared to April of last year. And we can see the median sales price per square foot has gone up 2% in that year. For the last year, maybe 2 years, this curve has been really flat. Every now and then it kind of bounces up or bounces down, but for the most part it just kind of stays right in line with our blue line. We did have a significant increase from last month, but it looks like that's kind of a seasonal thing. And we had a little bit more than we had last year, so we have 2% appreciation. But essentially flat, turning now to sales volume. So in this one, each one of these dots represents the number of homes that closed in that month. Don't have a whole lot of sales that are done in December. That's why we had this drop last year. This year we really didn't have that much of a drop. And we're still kind of outperforming last year. So since November, our monthly volume has been going up. So what I think is going on there is during COVID, a lot of sellers jumped in, tried to take advantage of the really high prices that we were experiencing at that point. So a lot of people who would have been selling now or over the last several months, they sold back then. So we kind of have the opposite of pent-up supply here. So, now that that's kind of running its course, we're starting to get back into the same kind of volumes we saw before COVID, and we're doing that faster than we did that last year. If this keeps up, then we should have volume at about 120 or so this month, that is May, and so we'll see if that turns out next month when I do this again. Here is our pending ratio analysis. We use this to describe whether we are experiencing a buyer's market or a seller's market. So the way this works is we had 575 homes on the market when I ran these numbers. Last month, that number was 536. So that is an increase of about 40 homes. Not quite 10%, but that is a nice little knock. So we're continuing to see our inventories go up as our sales volume goes up. Of the 575 homes, 82 of them were already pending. Well, 82 is 14% of 575. So our pending ratio is 14%. If you look up 14% on our handy dandy colored chart here, you'll see that 14% indicates a strong buyer's market. So that's where we are right now. We have a strong buyer's market in Prescott. It has been a buyer's market for well over a year now. It bounces between strong and buyer's market. In some price points we get extremes. We'll look at that next. So here is our price point. So let me explain this chart. The bars down here at the bottom, that is the number of homes that sold. So you can look at the number of homes that sold and the pending ratio of the homes in that price point. Nothing going on in the 100s, very little in the 200s, not that much in the 300s. You get to the 400s, you end up with a denominator that's big enough to form meaningful statistics. And for the most part, this curve kind of heads down, and as we move to the right here, so what that means is the higher the price point, the more of a buyer's market it is. A little bit of a glitch here in the 600s, and that's been going on a while now. It's less of a buyer's market in the 600s. That means there's more supply there or less demand there. I'm not sure what's going on, but that is something we've been seeing consistently for several months now. Other than that, for the most part, the curve just dies out to the right here. Once you get into the 800s, it is an extreme buyer's market. So buyers are very precious and sellers need to understand that. How long does it take for a home to sell in Prescott? Well, on average, it takes about 4.7 months to get a contract. So that's over 4.5 months. Like I said, this is a buyer's market. Sellers need to understand that. Escrows have been running a little less than a month. This is usually about a month. 0.8 is kind of fast, but nothing really much to speak about. That just means we had some cash deals in there. A little bit over 1, not a big deal. So that number just kind of fluctuates around a bit. Turning now to Prescott Valley, we're doing the same sort of analysis. Here is our median sales price per square foot. Big leap forward here. We're 5% over last year, which is unusual. PV has been, dead on in last year's numbers. Flat. But we got a little bit of a bump this month. So that's nice. We'll see if that continues, whether it just comes right back down again. I'm afraid to say this, but I think it's just going to come right back down again. But we'll see. Here are volumes. We used to be a little lower than last year. Now we're almost dead on in last year. So volumes haven't changed much in PV. Our pending ratio analysis for Prescott Valley indicates that we have 25% pending, which is a buyer's market. Remember, it was a strong buyer's market in Prescott. It's a buyer's market in PV. Has been a buyer's market for a long time now, folks. So if you don't know that, then catch up. It's been a while since it's been a seller's market. Inventory at 315. Last month it was 287. So that's about 30 homes. That's about 10%. So inventory is increasing rapidly. So it should become less of a buyer's market going forward because volumes have been very, very flat and inventory is rising. So that should lead to less of more of a buyer's market, right? If inventory is going, it should be more of a buyer's market. So we'll see. Usually it's been more of a seller's market in PV than Prescott. Maybe that's changing now. We will see. But numbers have not been moving around a whole lot. Looking at price point in Prescott Valley, nothing in the hundreds or 200s. Seller's market in the 100s. That's the one area. There's a significant amount of volume in PV in the 300s, and they go really, really fast. This curve kind of dies out to the right as well. There's a little bump in the 600s. Once you get to the 700s, these volumes are low enough. It kind of goes all over the place. Not much to be made out of that just because our denominators aren't very big. How long does it take for a home in PV to sell? That number is 3.1. So not bad. That's almost 3 is considered, kind of an even market. So more of a seller's market in PV. We'll see if that holds. Escrow's dead on at 1 month. All right, highlights. Prescott home prices are up 7% over last month. Turns out most of that is seasonal. So we're looking at 2% year over year. Prices are up 5% in PV and 6% year over year. I think that's backwards, right? I think it was 6% month and then 5% year over year. Sorry about that. Prescott volumes are up 18% from last year. PV volumes are up 13% from last year. Prescott's pending ratio is 14%. That's a strong buyer's market. PV 25. That is a buyer's market. Homes are going under contract in about 4.7 months. In Prescott, 3.1 in PV. Look, if you like this kind of stuff, we got lots more for you in the Prescott Home Value Report. This is just a summary. We go into specific subdivisions and just a whole bunch of stuff. So lots of slicing and dicing. So I would encourage you to download that report and get it in full. We update this report every month, but it is not the only report we do. We also have what we call the Appraiser's Eye View, which is the last 6 months of the latest comps. And it's broken out by subdivision. In fact, Prescott Lakes, we break it out by neighborhood, so it's very, very detailed. This is an example of what you'll see in the chart. This would be a subdivision. It is sorted by price per square foot, the number of months that it took the home to sell, square footage, the year it was built, how many stories, how many acres, and whether the listing agent is reporting the home having a view or not. Using this, you can look at all the different comps that occurred. You can see the average down here. So using this, it's a really good tool to figure out what you should be paying for a home, or where you might want to price a home that you are selling. So a really cool tool. We even have a video which goes through how to use this information to come up with value estimates for homes. We do a whole lot of tools like this, all of them really very cool for both buyers and sellers. And one thing I should point out is you can't get these from any place else. These are exclusive. You can only get them from the Prescott Pickle Lady. And all of this is part of our page. We call it Prescott by the Numbers, or more commonly the Pickle page. So if you're on the Pickle page, you know the Pickle page. But if you're not the Pickle page, well, you should get to the Pickle page. And you do that by subscribing. We update it every month. If you subscribe, we will send you a monthly email update with the link, so you can go download all the reports that you want. Even if you're not all that interested in getting every single month, just having access to these tools will give you a real leg up when it comes to the real estate game. I hope you found this informative and maybe slightly entertaining, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Please take a moment to look below and find the button that'll take you to the Pickle page. We'll see you there.